Hello, welcome back to Sunderland and the Aquatic Centre for the second session of the Swim England North East Region Open Youth Championships 2024. We've got an extended one this morning. If you were joining us at 9 o'clock this morning, you would have got your full money's worth of a 4-hour or so session. I think we've eradicated or eliminated some of the technical gremlins from this morning, not all of them maybe, but hopefully we can give you a slightly more accurate readout of what's going to happen in the afternoon session. And just to remind you, the evening session for the finals will be at 5 o'clock. So coming up in just a moment, it's the mixed 1500 meters freestyle. Not all of the events will be mixed, by the way. Heat number 1 and heat number 2 will be all females. Be a mix in heat number 3 and 4, and indeed 5, and then the final heat will be all males. So that says mixed. 3 of the heats will be mixed, and 3 will not, including the opening one, which will involve 5 females, ranging from 13 for Chloe Brotherton of South Tyneside. She'll be here with her teammate Jessica Jobson. And there will be 3 swimmers from the N&D performance team, and they will occupy lanes 3, 5 and 6. Right, that's the referee's whistle, which indicates we are ready to go. Looks like we may have all of them in there. Yes, I think we have. I thought we might have lost one, but no. All are here, present and correct, so we can proceed with the mixed 1500 freestyle. As I said, mixed. This one is not. This one just contains females, and obviously I'll have probably about 90 minutes of racing here, so plenty of time just to leisurely go through the lineup for you. Jessica Jobson, 15 years of age, from South Tyneside, is in lane 2. 3 is Molly Rosanna Young from the N&D performance team. She's 16. Chloe Brotherton, the youngest swimmer in this field, one of the youngest swimmers here this weekend at 13. She's in lane number 4. In 5, Marley Bow of N&D, another N&D swimmer in lane 6, 15-year-old Anna Dominica Barker. So their entry times are all fairly similar. 18:49 for the youngster Chloe, up to 18:57 for Jessica Jobson. So could be quite a tight one, this. 30 lanes, 30 lengths even, of this Sunderland Aquatics Centre pool. And as we always say with the 1500s, they'll go out relatively quickly on the first 100. Things will settle down a little bit after that. So that's a 108 opening. Doubt very much we'll see a 108 again, maybe until the final 100, because it'll settle down into a pattern. And it's the South Tyneside swimmer, Chloe Brotherton, who is in lane number 4. That's not how that we're looking at the moment, though. That's Molly Rosanna Young of N&D, who's leading the way. Early stages, 2.44 between her and Chloe Brotherton. And so we'll just keep an eye on the splits as we go through, see what kind of tempo they're doing. All of them will be hopefully anticipating knocking a fair amount of time off their previous personal bests. So we started with a 68. This looks like it's going to be somewhere in the region of a 114. There you go. It just shows you how it can differ. Go out with a speed just to set the tempo, 108. Now we'd probably like to see 114s, 113s, something like that, all the way through the conclusion of this race. May not be a pedestrian kind of race, because the entry times are all quite similar. Differential of 8 seconds between the slowest and the fastest. At the moment is the 18:52.09 entered swimmer. Molly Rosanna Young, 16 years of age, from the N&D team, who's actually setting quite a good pace. The others aren't at the moment able to handle, but it is very early days yet. So just to repeat, Jessica Jobson, 15 years of age, South Tyneside in 2. Molly Rosanna Young, 16, water swimmer in the field at 3. 4 is Chloe Brotherton, the youngest, 13, South Tyneside. Marley Bow in 5 for N&D. You can see those 3 there, Chloe, Marley and Anna, all fairly very close together. But they're not that close at the moment to Molly Rosanna Young, 37. So I make that around about a 115 this time. So, yeah, start off with a 108, no 114, 115. I think it might speed it up a little bit because the swimmers behind her are more than capable of keeping up with that pace and probably going a little bit quicker. So she might just get into that 114 rhythm. As you can see, they've not quite dropped Jessica Jobson, but she's a little way behind at this stage. But the other 3 in pursuit, separated by less than a second. This will be the 400 turn. So over a quarter way gone by the time that there's Chloe Brotherton, who is in second place by our leader. There's Molly Rosanna Young, lane number 3, coming in for her turn. So we're expecting somewhere around about a 4:52 maybe. Yeah, bang on, 4:52. So it's between 1:14 and 1:15. Marley Bow, second place, but nothing really to choose between her and Chloe Brotherton. She's 13, so again, what's she looking at? Maybe an 18:35, maybe? They'll all be looking to get that time down, start working towards 18 minutes, maybe today, but these big increments are quite important, so you're taking big chunks out of your personal bests. Trying to read the calculations here, which is not always my strong point, but keep going at 1:15 or 1100. You're probably going to this one, I think. I'll probably wait till the end, actually. Might be overreaching and over exerting myself trying to do those kind of mathematic equations at this stage, but you see they're keeping kind of pincer movement, getting ready to launch themselves. Our leader, so she kept up that same pace now. 6:08. Oh, I said she dropped to 1:16 now, so she's actually going a little bit slow. 1:14, 1:15, 1:15, 1:16. So that pace has just edged off a little bit from where it was, which might explain why I think the others are getting a little bit closer to her. Not that it's really that stark that she's getting that close, but she is certainly they are getting closer to her, I think, at this stage. Let's see what the gap is at this turn. At the moment is 3.23, so we'll keep an eye on that, see if they're making any inroads into her lead. Visibly it looks like they potentially are, but it can be deceptive, certainly on the angle that our camera is. Get more of an idea when they come down this end for 600 meters, which it will be next time. So if she keeps up the kind of pace she's looking at, or has been looking at, 7:23 I think is probably what we're looking at for a turn here. She might just have edged off that again at 7:24. Yeah, it's another 1:16, so she might keep a fairly regulatory 1:14, but now it's starting to open up a little bit. There were 3 in the line, now there's 1 plus 2, but I think we will check again that gap between 1 and 2, which last time they got up to the far end of the pool was 3.23. Just looks like, so it might be an optical illusion, but it just looks like they might be getting a little bit closer just in terms of where they are in position of her feet. think 3.23 is definitely not the gap anymore. 1.89 would be the answer. So that means that Chloe Brotherton, who is on paper fastest in this field, albeit only by a couple of seconds, is starting to make a move. I think she likes the tempo. I think it's just a bit too slow. 116 does not suit her rate. So Chloe's on the move. Won't ever take her on this one, but we're looking at 116. Looking at about an 840-ish. 841. I think it's actually getting slower. So that would be why Chloe Brotherton's going, do you know, I need to up the tempo a bit. If you're going to stick in that groove and go between 115 and 117, I need to just inject a little bit of pace here and swim it my way. And she's right alongside her now. So it's only a matter of time. That gap, which was up in the threes, came down to just under 2. It's under 1 now, I think. Essentially. 0.72 is where it is. So I think by the time they get to this end of the pool, to 800 metres, obviously they're over halfway now, I think Chloe Brotherton will come storming past her. She's on her way. I think we will have a new leader when we get to the scoreboard end. I think we'll now see Chloe Brotherton just taking over on this, and also starting to make a bit of a move again is Marley Bow. Right, let's keep an eye on this. Oh, look how close she's actually didn't quite get there on the turn. She didn't quite get there, but I think another 117 or just under 117 there. I think this is going to speed up a bit now. I think that Chloe Brotherton's will let's go. Come on, off I go. If you want to come with me, then please do. Feel free. But she will have had in her mind what she wanted to do pacing-wise, and it's not quite fulfilling that. So lane 4, Chloe Brotherton just ahead now of Molly Rosanna Young. Not much in it. Oh, actually, she just took it back over that turn. She actually hasn't led yet, as far as the turns are concerned, but I keep thinking visibly she looks like she is. And Marley Bow is starting to make her move, and don't discount Anna Dominica Barker either. So starting to join up between the 4 of them. See all 4 in the shot. The one we dropped is Jessica Jobson. But those 4 all got their eyes on the prize of winning. See whether it's speeded up at all. 114. Yeah, it's a 116. It's a 116 there. So a little bit of a speed up, but not much of one. You get down to the 117s, it's a 116 split. Chloe Brotherton, the 13-year-old, up against the 16-year-old Molly Rosanna Young. Marley Bow is right on the feet of Chloe Brotherton. I think all 3 of those are in line potentially to win this. I think that Anna Dominica Barker can at this stage. It will be 1,000 when they turn next time. So it will be 2/3 gone. And I think we can definitely say that Chloe Brotherton's our leader now. As they come down, but second place. Well, having said that, Marley Bow might be taking over from her. All 3 in line. In fact, that might just have been what Molly Rosanna Young needed, because she might go to the wall first again. Look at all 3 flip over within 0.32. 12:31. Yeah, that's another 117. It's not quickening up. We might just put a bit more pace into it, but no, 116, 117 this time. But what is making for a very interesting race, because every time you think you want to discount the chances of Molly Rosanna Young winning it, she goes right back into it again. Chloe Brotherton will probably, I know I keep saying this, but probably will flip over in first place here. She still doesn't. It's amazing, isn't it? Every time she goes into the one, she's definitely going to come out on top. And somehow, some way, Molly Rosanna Young gets there. Then on the flat, if you like, between the two walls, Marley Bow starts to work her way through, and I have no idea which way this race is going to go in the end. Which makes it very exciting for all of us. What will make it exciting, of course, is if they start to improve upon their times as well. And this time, for the first time, it looks like Marley Bow is going to go in first place. 13:47. So 1:16. That's better. We're moving it down again by a second. Marley Bow's gone 18:51.90 to her name, 15-year-old. Wearing a Sunderland cap, but replacing that today with allegiance to the N&D team. And she looks to have most of the running at the moment. Chloe Brotherton's working incredibly hard in the centre. So too is Molly Rosanna Young. So neither of those are giving up on their chance of winning this race as yet. But the person who's just out in front, albeit only by about a body length, is Marley Bow with N&D. So she's on paper about a couple of seconds slower than is Chloe Brotherton, and about a couple of tenths quicker than Molly Rosanna Young. That's kind of how this race has panned out. I think we could potentially have our quickest hundreds into about 200 here. I think this looks a little bit speedier to me. Let's see. I may be totally wrong. Well, I might actually be right for a change. So 1:16 is where it was last time round. 15:03 at 1200, so 300 to go. And you still wouldn't put your money on the winner at this stage, though you might, having seen that slight burst that Marley Bow has just made, be more inclined to wager on her. Lane 5. That's always on camera tells you. Still nothing between the top three. And Dominica Barker was in contention for a while, but she's now going to have to swim her own race back and forth. It's only Jessica Jobson, who lost fairly early on, as she's at the top of your picture, from South Tyneside. I mean, we lost her, she's still there, but in terms of contention in this race, we lost her. Marley Bow, probably the biggest lead that anybody's had for a while here. She is pulling away from the other two. Let's see what kind of lead she can open up. 16:19 at the turn. That was a 1:50. No, another 1:16.17 from her. 2.78 was the lead. I think it looks like that's extending, getting still bigger, building upon this lead here. And it's really opened up now. And second, or should it be third win now for Molly Rosanna Young. Has been sitting there waiting for Chloe Brotherton to make a mistake. Well, I don't think she made a mistake exactly, but Molly's decided to get second place back. She was our leader early on. The lead is extending though. Our leader is getting further away from the chasing pack. Now let's start thinking about what kind of time they could do. Well, we'll know on this turn, because this turn will be the one where they blow the whistle. So what time could she turn in? 17:34. And her best time prior to this, 18:51. So she needs to come back in 1:17 or quicker to get under the 18:50. So this is where it should speed up. That first 100 was 1:08. I'm looking for something something similar to that. Marley Bow will hope she can get maybe 18:44. Yeah, might be asking a bit much. All she'll want after all this exertion today is to get under 18:51.90. She's going to probably do that. Still a ways to go. She's got 25 meters to go. I think 18:51 is well within her range. 17 seconds remaining. Yeah, she'll be okay. And 18:50 she will go. 18:48 maybe. 18:47. 73. So Brotherton just a bit slower than she has been. And the same goes for Molly Rosanna Young as well. So aside from our winner, in 18:47.33. So 73, got my own writing, 73. There we go. 18:47.73. So aside from Marley Bow, all the others have gone a little bit slower than they have previously today. That's the first of the, well, being called mixed 1500 meters freestyles, but they're not strictly. So the next one will be all females, and then we'll have 3 heats which will contain men and women. And we'll have an all-male heat number 6. So we all know the story, I'm sure by now. I've said it so often, for Emma Wills, York City. So here she is, master swimmer. Always been a really good swimmer. Always attends these kind of events. And she doesn't mind people knowing she is 45 years of age. But still loves it. It's Calorian in her blood, I think. I've got to be honest. She shows no sign of ever wanting to give up or retire. Master swimming is in the blood for her. And she does mix it with the youngsters pretty well. And it's quite an inspiration for them. Entry time. So I never know with her what her best time is, because her entry time is obviously something from the last 2 years. Everybody else's, so they are 15 and 16. Tends to be their best time, but in her case, I really don't know what her best time is. Maybe would have been done a long time ago, but she's entered in on a 18:19.70. She is in lane number 2. I'll give you the full list after we've seen the first 100 completed and see what pacing they're going to do for this. It's Charlotte Payton who's going out for 106.55, so a little bit quicker than was the previous heat. So the full lineup is Evie McWatt of Kingston upon Hull, 0. 1 is Gwen Means of N&D. York City's Emma Wills in 2. Charlotte Payton of N&D, 19 years of age, in 3. Kezia Martin, City of Sheffield, a lot of 15-year-olds. She's one of 4 in the line here. Then Millie Cammack of N&D, Matilda Smith of N&D. York City's Millie Darrand in 7. And 2 16-year-olds in the outside lane, Abby Whitfield and Annalise Mendoza. Gives you the complete lineup. Charlotte Payton has an 18:16 to her name. 18:16, it's not the quickest in the field though. Kezia Martin of City of Sheffield has an 18:07. And I've been bemoaning for a long time now the lack of distance swimmers, pool swimmers that is. Not so much open water, but pool swimmers above 200 really. And I'm hoping that's going to change pretty soon. It's only going to happen. Of course, we have swimmers of this kind of caliber. So a 1:11 there was what Kezia Martin put in. Starting with a 1:06.55, moving on to a 2:17.79. So obviously considerably quicker than was the previous heat. At the moment, Emma Wills is, I think, in 3rd place. There she is with the orange cap. Top two, though, side by side in 4 and 3. Kazia Martin, 15-year-old. Charlotte Payton, the 19-year-old. Kazia Martin. So we're certainly looking for distance swimmers now. Some obviously converting to open water. As you saw with Amber Keegan from City of Sheffield. Over goes Cassia. Over goes Charlotte. 3:29. 75. That's a 1:12. I think that's where we're going to see them go pretty much all the way through now to the last 100. 1:12. They aren't separated by much. Top two. Cassia Martin, 0.61 differential between the top two. Ember Wills, 4 seconds back. A little bit of a gap to Eva McWatt. Always interesting on the 15 to see where they make a move. Obviously, flutter kick for the most part, no real power in those legs, so you need it late on. 400 split coming up now. 442. That was about 113, 112, 113 is the range that they're showing at the moment. And neither willing to yield. So that gap still staying pretty much the same. Around about a second between the top two. Emma Wills, I think, has still got third place to herself. She has. No challenge on her yet. Gap is now 0.90, barely changing. About 2/3 of a second, 3/4 of a second, and then 9/10 of a second. Hasn't really changed much. 500 up next, so 1/3 of the way gone. And return next time. The gap looks a bit tighter, actually, doesn't it? No, it's actually 1.46. 54. Yep, another 112 for our leader, who's just starting to kick those legs a bit harder now. Just trying to pull away from her nearest foe. Deciding that bring the outboard motor in, which is the legs, at 500. Try and blow away the opposition. Hasn't done it yet, but the lead is incrementally increasing. Only about a 1/4 of a second every 50, but it is getting slightly bigger. That looks to be a bit bigger to me. So 1.7, I think it's up to a couple of seconds now, potentially. 600. 6. Yeah. 2.69. So she took quite a bit out of it on that 50. Wills is about 6 seconds back from second place. But I think we've got to the stage where it does very much look like Kazia Martin up against the clock, which makes it tougher, because she can look to her right, not see any opponent now. She could do before, but as that gap is starting to open up a little bit more, it's getting tougher. Everything has to be self-will. 3.45, yeah, lead. So slightly opening up again. There's any pressure on Emma Wills in third place. Potentially be from Millie Kamak soon. 15-year-old from N&D. It's just making a bit of a move towards third place. Leader, however, has got her biggest lead of the race. 3.68. Stepped into a very comfortable 112 to 113 pace. I always think if you're 1500 meters freestyler and you know you're not going to win it, because in this case it's a case of trying to get your best time ever, which I think both of them could potentially be on the course for. But is that lead changing at all? No, up into the fours now for our leader. So whilst it's not a huge margin opening up, every 50 it's going up by a few tenths. So Cassie Martin, 18:07.40, her best time. She'll be looking to just get it down towards 18 minutes. Another great landmark she can then burst through. And 13 again. And she turns next time. That will be 8:50. Halfway. Sorry, halfway. That's halfway. She's at 8:50, not 7:50. She's in the second half of the race now. Told you maths was my strong point, didn't I? 8:50 coming up for our leader. And again, our lead is now probably beyond 5. Might actually be 6 seconds now. Certainly, I think 5 at least. Yeah, 5.28. Emma Wills looking pretty comfortable in third place. I thought there might be a challenge coming from Millie Kamak, but it doesn't seem to have materialised as yet. I wonder whether Emma Wills got her sights set on catching Charlotte Payton now. Oh, her lead is there. You can see just getting close between second and third, definitely. And that lead. Just extending a bit further, not much, but enough. Emma Wills is on the prowl and has Charlotte Payton in her sights. Not long enough to catch her. There she is, a 45-year-old from York City. Still enjoying her racing as much as she ever has. The lead is now 5.22. First time it's come down for a while, actually. It's actually reduced. Let's look at the gap between 2 and 3. Was that about 4 seconds? I think it was. So the gap is actually not extending anymore, but it's not being eaten into by a big margin. So this will be the 2/3 of the race completed. And 12:01.63 is where she is. 1,000. Now I think Emma Wills must be getting closer, isn't she? It's about 4 seconds still between second and third, but always looks off the turn like she's about to reel her in a bit. Gap between 1 and 2 is not extending massively either. That's still about the same, but Emma Wills, I think, is definitely kept thinking this for quite a while, that she's on the prowl. And is starting to get in range. Lead is 5.39. It's been around about 5 point something for a while. Reminder that first time for our leader, 18:07.40. Get more of an idea where she is in pursuit of that, or bettering it very shortly. No, it's getting tighter in seconds, but you can see it visibly. Lead between 1 and 2's got bigger too. 5.91, almost up to 6. I think the lead between 2 and 3 is not as big. And here comes Emma Wills. Now we know she's got quite a good, certainly has had a very good kick finish. So if she's in range, she might just be able to overhaul Charlotte Payton. No way. Unless she stops for no apparent reason. But Cassie Martin's going to get caught. Lead just trimmed, 5.45, but trimmed is the word. I think Charlotte Payton's probably sped up a bit because of the fact she's aware she will probably not be able to see Emma Wills, but might be able to hear her coming. And there she is. This is the bit of the race is going to be interesting. Emma Wills is definitely closer now. Look at that. See that on that wide shot. Definitely getting closer. Definitely getting closer. The leader isn't at all concerned about that at 1200. She's still got a 5.71 lead, but it's only 2 seconds now, or just over 2 seconds between second and third. It's been halved. And Emma Wills is going for it. She's almost on the feet of Charlotte Payton now. I think it won't be too long now before she potentially overtakes her. And her leader back on her way to 1300 meters. 6 seconds, the biggest lead so far, exactly 2 seconds now between second and third. Not for long, I don't think. I think that 2 second advantage will be coming down a bit next time they turn. Obviously, they're running out of meterage. 300 to go last time they turned at this end. 200 to go when they reached this end this time. Oh, was over 6 seconds the lead. It's more than that now. 6.27. And the lead may be extending, and the second place over third has been rescinding quite a bit. Fields, Charlotte Payton, sorry, Cassia Martin. Charlotte Payton's at N&D. Cassia Martin. Right now, when she gets back next time, we'll get an idea where she might be in relation to her best time. Lead is still well over 6 seconds. 6.21. Emma Wills just maybe biding her time, waiting for the right moment to pounce. It'll be the whistle when they get to this end. So the lane judges all ready to both show 2 lengths to go and blow the whistle. Here comes the whistle for Cassia Martin. It turns in 16:58. Yeah, so she's looking at basically a 109. 109 to improve on her best time. I'm not sure Emma Wills is quite going to catch. Oh, maybe she will. Got a lot to do in 75 meters to catch her, though. Got a funny feeling that Cassia Martin's not going to improve on her best time here. I think she's going to struggle to get that 18:07. Let's have a look. Thereabouts, maybe 15 seconds until 18:07. I think it's going to be probably just out of range. Afraid so. Yeah, afraid so. It's going to be 18:08:05, which is a bit of a sickener, really, because that was very, very close to her best. But not quite good enough. Charlotte Payton, 18:17:11. Emma Wills was only second and a half back in the end, behind her in third place. Fourth was Millie Kamak. Millie Darrand in fifth. There's still a few out on the course. But yeah, it's a bit of a sickener for Cassia, because so 18:07 before, 18:08 this time. There's only 3/4 of a second in it. Finishing off is Matilda Smith, N&D. Not quite her day today. She's done 18:17 before now, well outside that today. And still finish off is Abby Whitfield and also Annalise Mendoza. We'll finish off in 8 and 9. 19:25 for Annalise. All right. First of our mixed 1500 freestyle, proper mixed 1500 freestyles, because we have women and men, or males and females, in the heat number 3. So basically 2 races in one here, which can be a little bit confusing. I'll break it down for you in a minute. So we will have 5 men and 5 women. Jessica Thomas, let's go through the women first, probably make it easier if I split them in 2. Jessica Thomas will be in 0 for N&D. Emily Headley for Newcastle in 1. Rihanna Foster of Kingston on Hull in 2. Chloe Cook for City of Sheffield in 5. Katie Otterson of Newcastle in 7. They are the females in this race. The males in this race are Cameron Rhodes of Rotherham Metro in 3. Luke Littler, for those who weren't with us earlier on, yes, that is his name, of N&D in 4. Conan Swilly of Gateshead and Wickham in 6. Michael O'Neill, the early leader, in lane 8 for N&D, and Ivan Gallagher of N&D in lane 9. So, who's doing what? A 1:04:01 start for Michael O'Neill, as far as Katie Otten, the leading woman's concerned. 1.83 behind at this stage. Now it's interesting, we're talking about, I heard people talking about running, how the longer distance you get, closer the men and the women get together. Not necessarily the case in swimming. So there's quite a big gulf between the times that Katie Ledecky does and times that the Italian 1500 meters freestylers do, but we'll probably see in this one. Well, there will be some, probably be some women who will beat the men. But I think it's unlikely they're going to beat Michael O'Neill on this kind of form. Now, he's not broken 18 minutes yet. Most of the swimmers in this field have, at some point, broken 18. In fact, there's only 3 who haven't, and he's one of them. So to see what he can do today. 18:00:96 is his best time, and looking pretty good. 2:13:4. It's just over 1:09. I think we potentially could see a really big drop down in time here for Michael O'Neill, N&D, if he keeps going at this kind of pace. That's going to slight worry. He's a bit frantic. If he's gone out with quite a surge of adrenaline and keeping it going for another 1,200 meters might be difficult. He's going at a real lick. Now, if you look at the way he's swimming it to the way, let's say, that Cameron Rhodes is swimming it. They're very different. I think Michael O'Neill's, I don't think he's going for a time, but he doesn't look quite as controlled. There's the females involved, like Jessica Thomas and Emily Headley, and obviously Chloe Cook's in there as well from Sheffield with the red cap. Okay, Michael O'Neill coming into turn 323. Just settled down a little bit for well, still a 109, 110. Well, if he can keep this up, it is going to be a very, very big personal best, but I think he's gone really quite quick. He's throwing everything into it. The impetuosity of youth. Just look at his stroke, and I'm looking at what everybody else is doing. It's all a bit more laboured in comparison. His little arms and legs. No, there's no legs, to be fair. He's just training his legs, but he's really going for it big time is Michael, 15-year-old. Maybe I would just join us. It's the mixed 1500 meters freestyle, so there are 5 men, 5 women in this race. Trying to keep an eye on the women's race as well within the men's. Yossum was the leading woman last time we looked. Let's see if she still is. Men 1, 2. No, so it's now Chloe Cook. Chloe Cook is the leading woman in 3rd place overall, but leading the women's race. Yeah, Michael O'Neill, how are you looking? Yeah, he's still looking all right. He's still looking pretty good. Still looking good, but not even anywhere near halfway yet. Now look at the gap. So again, we'll keep an eye on the gap, which is 5.54 seconds. If it starts to come down, we'll know he's overexpended and overextended early on, but 5.54, that's what the intriguing thing is. Just looks to have pace to burn at this stage. This will be 500 this time. Right, so that is 1/3 of the race done. And the gap is 6.31, and it is getting bigger. Another 0.8 taken out of the field on that one. Cameron Rhodes has been biding his time for Royal Remetra up there in lane number 3. Chloe Cook is still our leading female in this race. Well, hats off to him. If he can keep this going for the rest of the race, I will be incredibly impressed. Already impressed by what he's done so far, but the lead is, I think, is it getting bigger? Seems to be. Cook's actually moving up to potentially overtake Cameron Rhodes here as well. There's our leader. He hasn't broken 18 minutes prior to today. The way he's going, he's most definitely going to do that if he can keep it going. Remember that lead, 6.31 seconds when we last measured it. Where is it at now? I can't show you on screen. I'm trying to do my calculation in my head here as well now. It's not appearing on the main scoreboard, so I can't tell you, but it looks like it's more. You'll just be able to tell. Look at it's got 13 meters advantage. Well, we'll know more this time, hopefully, in split time. Last measurement 6.31. I think it looks bigger. Oh my goodness, is it bigger? 9.2. This is phenomenal. If he keeps this going, I keep saying this, if he keeps it going, there's no sign at the moment of him backing off. This will be incredibly quick. This will be, if he keeps it going, I think swim of the weekend, potentially. Still dragging those legs. He's not using his legs yet. It's not kicking. A little flutter kick now. But is that lead still 9 seconds? It is. 9.68. So every 50 is taking about 3 or 4 tenths off the field. I'm saying I'm really, really impressed by this, because I thought he's going for an absolutely suicidal pace here, but at the moment it's still okay. Halfway. That lead, I think, is getting up towards 10 seconds potentially here. I think it probably is, because it's just a bit off the screen at that point. I'm sure those in the O'Neill family, if they're not here watching on the stream, will be absolutely... Can you move out of the way, please? Thank you. Maybe red. Thank you. Unaware of a TV camera pointing straight at his head. Michael O'Neill is over halfway. Potentially on the way home. And his lead is not appearing on the screen, so I'm trying to work it out. It's not coming up on our big screen either, so actually I'm at a loss to be able to do that for you, but I can tell you it's still big, and it does seem to be visibly increasing. I think we know now, because it's more than 15 meters. It wasn't more than 15 meters before. I think we're into double digits here, and I think that's why it's not appearing on your screen. 9:48 plays 10 minutes, 12 seconds. 12 seconds or thereabouts between 1 and 2. That's why it's not appearing on your screen. When it gets beyond about 10 seconds, it doesn't appear on your screen. 12 seconds. Now, he's about to lap a swimmer a few above, I think. 10:24. Now, this is way inside what he's done before. He's got 18 minutes as his entry time. Now, I've no idea. I'm trying to do calculations here. It is going to be a ridiculous personal best if he keeps this going. If he could keep this going for the 1500, this will be a ridiculous new personal best. One of the biggest chunks I think I've ever seen taken out of a personal best. He's got to be tiring. He's got to be. I mean, he went off on such a frantic pace, but let's see what the gap is now. It was 12 seconds. 10:59 he turned in. It was 12. It's now getting on for 13. Certainly not coming down. It's extending, if anything. Must be, his legs must feel like lead weights now. So he is not using them yet. Again, a flutter kick, another flutter kick. He's really not using those legs. He's got a third of the race to go. He's got 500 meters to go. He's going to be massively inside. In fact, you know, the way things are going, he's going to be nearer 17 than 18. He keeps going at this pace, which is astonishing personal best. Oh, he's a 15-year-old, and coaches, as I say, always tell me we expect them to drop down in time at 14, 15, 16. Obviously, generally with the women and the girls, it's younger, but if he could knock some time off here, the kind of time it looks like he's going to, that would be astonishing. Right, he turned in 12:11. So it is still, it's about 13 seconds, not improving massively, not increasing massively, but it's still the same. I haven't really talked about anybody else in the field, have I, for a while? Maybe because I'm kind of transfixed by watching Michael O'Neill and what he's doing here. Right, 400 to go. 12:46. He's got 400 to go. 4:36. Well, yeah, he's definitely going to be in the 17s. I think he's been around about 17:20 maybe, which would be something like 42nd PB. I think he's on course to around about between 17:15 and 17:25 if he keeps going like this. So it will be an astonishingly huge leap down in time. That lead is not, so 13:22 is when he turned, because it's not going to appear on your screen, the gap between 1 and 2. Swimmer turning in 35, so it's still 13 seconds and a bit. He might be slowing down just a bit. It's not by much, not visibly obvious. Doesn't look, so it doesn't look as frantic as it did. Looks a little bit more controlled now than the early stage, and again he just doesn't want to use those legs because he knows it's going to be tiring if he does. I'm sure we'll see them the last 200 meters. 13:58, and you can see visibly by the gap how big that lead is. Still up there at 13 seconds. Just looking for the grimacing on his face now, thinking, well, he's obviously having to breathe a lot. But yeah, with my very, very, very rough calculations, I'm thinking 17:15 maybe, 17:20. I'm rather excited about this. Okay, not long to go. So another 200 after this. Yeah, another 4 lengths. 4 lengths to go. 17. Well, certainly, I think 17:25 is what I said. I think originally. I might stick with that. 17:25. Certainly well inside 18 minutes. I think unless he blows up badly in the last 2 lengths, it's well inside 18 minutes. This has been a gutsy performance because think about it, he's barely seen anybody apart from when he's turning and seeing them on the way back. He's had nobody to race him. Still only flutter kicks. Still, he's surely going to go to the legs on the last 100. 15:44. Yeah. He's going, don't worry. He's most certainly going. And that personal best is most definitely going as well. Here comes the whistle. Here comes the whistle to signify only one more 100 meters of freestyle to come for Michael O'Neill. He turned in 16:20, so yeah, 16:30 probably more realistic now. 16:25, 16:30 potentially. 17:30, I should say. 17:30 for him. Would be a massive improvement, a big leap down in time. And nobody's been anywhere close. We've really not concentrated on anybody else in the race at all. We will look and see how they finish in a few moments' time. But for me, this has been captivating and enthralling to see exactly what Michael O'Neill can do. Well, there are times when I thought, have you gone out too quick? Have you gone out a suicidal pace for your standard? He obviously knew exactly what he was doing. Now, if he can get 17:30, and I think he's going to be very close to it, then that will be an achievement, real achievement. He's never been sub 18 before. Come on, Michael. It's going to be around about 17:30. Almost there, almost there. Come on, touch. 17:30, 39. That is a full 30-second personal best. Come on, give us a smile if indeed you can. If indeed you can. Remarkable. Well done, young man. On a hat, I'd tip it to you. Terrific. Second place, Cameron Rhodes. Third place, first place in terms of the women's race, Katie Otterson. And Luke Littler in third place for the men. 17:30, 39. All of a 30-second personal best for Michael O'Neill. Right, on to heat number 4. And again, it will be a combination of men and women. Only 2 women in this one. The majority are men. It's going to be the 2 women who are involved in it. Sedona Reed of City of Leeds will go and is going in lane 2. Catherine Noble, Newcastle in 9. So all the other swimmers are male. I think we lost Catherine as well, have we? Let's see Catherine in there, so it may just be Sedona Reed then swimming on her own in terms of the women. So Will Hewitt of Middlesbrough in 0, Sam Wright of Doncaster in 1, Luke Dyer, City of Leeds 3, Owen Brown, Newcastle 4, Alfie Charlton of Harrogate in 5, Alex Bowyer of N&D in 6, Arthur Owen, City of Leeds 7, and Harry Whitfield of N&D, the 14-year-old, the youngest in the field, goes in lane number 8. An idea what kind of pace they might potentially be putting together here off the first 100, which is 1:03.68. Right, we'll calm down a bit from there. We'll slow down a little bit. Then we'll get into a race pace from this point onwards. Fastest time in this field, actually very, very tight between the centre 2 lanes. In fact, they're separated by a third of a second. Owen Brown and Alfie Charlton. Luke Dyers goes 17:30. Arthur Owens goes 17:33. So they're all fairly closely grouped time-wise. Luke Dyer and Will Hewitt in 0 and 3. Our early leaders. So this is where we find out what kind of race pace they're going to go. They're not going to go 1:03 all the way through. 1:07 maybe. So for that to happen, we'll be looking about 2:10. It's going to be a little bit slower than that. 2:12. Yeah, 2:12. So that'll be a 1:09. For Will Hewitt. With Luke Dyer in second place. So Sedona Reed is the only female in this field, in this mixed relay. So mixed relay. Mixed 1500 meters freestyle. Did have the relays at the beginning of the day, but we're back again tomorrow. So top 4 separated by less than 2 seconds. Top 6 separated by less than 3. In fact, top 7 separated by less than 3. So early stages, race pace being set by 15-year-old from Middlesbrough, Will Hewitt. Entered in on 17:37. So again, looking to take a large chunk out of his best previous time. 17:37.66. He will turn with a bit of a lead. 21. There's another 1:09. 1.44 is differential between them. We'll keep an eye on that, see whether he can increase it, improve upon it. At the moment there's 5 or 6 very much still in this 1500 meters freestyle. All bar one are male. The one female. Yeah, 1.44 it was. Now is 1.92, so he's taken about half a second out of the field there. Luke Dyer in second place. But also looking pretty good. Arthur Owens of City of Leeds in 7th. I'd be surprised if he comes through now. So to make his move, the yellow caps, Luke Dyer and Arthur Owens. 400 metres about to be completed by Will Hewitt. 4:31.19. Lead up to 2.38 seconds. So biggest lead he's had in the race. I'll tell you what, looks like he's intent on pulling even further away from everybody else. Could be our outside smoker in lane 0 here. Everybody else inside of him, barring, well, in fact, not barring any. All the swimmers inside him have got quicker times. So for him to go and win this will be a surprise, because he is something like 9 seconds slower than the previous fastest swimmer here. And he is still increasing that advantage. Be 500 when he gets to this, the commentary box end. Third of the race will have been completed. And so if you look down the list, the 15-year-old from Middlesbrough would not have been high on my list of potential winners. Still a long way to go. He's got to keep his pace up, and I think his biggest threat might be Arthur Owens of City of Leeds right now. He's coming through very strongly. By 41, 2.33. So yeah, the gap is just for the first time starting to go down a little bit. It's not appreciable, but it's a little. The yellow peril are hovering. Luke Dyer 3 and Arthur Owens in 7. Both of them not too far away now. Also, don't discount swimmer in lane number 1, Benjamin Beale from N&D. Oh, I think the lead has just come down again. Yeah, it has. Oh, it's an appreciable drop down. It's down to under 2 now. So he had gone up to nearly 3 seconds. And now it's where the race restarts to unwind. The race restarts to develop. And he is now being pursued, Will Hewitt, by quite a few different swimmers. Not just one swimmer getting close or closer. But, Sam Wright is. Talked about Arthur Owens for a lot. 1.67, yeah. It's as close as they've been for a while now. Then Luke Dyer. Then Harry Whitfield. He may not be aware of that. He's swimming his own race, looking around. Although certain South African likes to do, or liked to do, in the butterfly. And we're trying to keep his head straight. Just have his eyes on what he needs to do. But now you can see visibly how close it's starting to get. 1.10. At this rate, he'll be overtaken in about 150 meters. I'm not sure it's going to take that long. I think his leading time might be coming to an end fairly soon, because Arthur Owens is approaching. He's not going to be leading yet, the lead swimmer, but it won't be too long now. It'll be under a second between the two of them. 0.87. Took 23 hundredths out of him on that 50. So certainly for too long, the leadership of this race is liable to change. So still Will Hewitt. Oh, it's not on that turn. 4 100ths differential. For the first time, Arthur Owens does take over. Sam Wright in 3rd place, but yeah, it was only a matter of time, wasn't it, for the 15-year-old from Leeds. Started to take over, and take over he has, albeit only marginally at the moment. That he has. And now he's going to build on this lead. It was only 4 100ths, wasn't it? Last turn. It's only 1 100th this time. Well, what a scrap between these two. Between Will Hewitt in 0 and Arthur Owens in 7. I think coaches on the sidelines, supporters on the sidelines are making Will Hewitt aware he needs to up the gas a little bit, because the lead swimmer is a long way away from him, as you can see. Lane 1, lane 0 to lane 7. Right, he can visibly see him, I suppose, but it's a long way across the pool, and there's nothing still to choose between them. It's a cracking race. Go all this way to the last 50. It's going to be a great race. There's two in it, really. It's these two for winning it anyway. Arthur Owens, 15. Will Hewitt, 15. One from Middlesbrough, one from the city of Leeds. It's 4 seconds between them in terms of their best time. Arthur Owens 4 seconds quicker. 12 lengths to go, 600 to go. And 0.27 separates them. It's nothing, is it really? Get that out of the way in a sprint. There's Luke Dyer. Then it's Sam Wright. That's your top 4. That's your top 4. Arthur Owens has had the advantage for about 200 metres or thereabouts now. And he looks like he's just about consolidating that, but also watch the fast finishing Luke Dyer here, because Luke Dyer is coming right back into it as well, I think. 0.65 now between Owens and Hewitt. Luke Dyer is a couple of seconds behind, but I think he's visibly making a bit of a move here. The right time to do it, just to creep up and potentially get a lead to 1-2. Still got some work to do to make that happen, but you can see him coming right through there in lane number 3. I think he's getting closer. He is. 1.7 back off Hewitt now. Still our leader is Arthur Owens, so I'm going to say for a lead to 1-2 very shortly. Trying to encourage Will Hewitt, the Middlesbrough team on the far side, still second place. 0.85 behind Arthur Owens. So 1.5 seconds adrift now is Luke Dyer. And Sam Wright seems to be making a bit of a move as well. So all those just behind the leader are increasing their stroke rate, starting to get maybe a little bit tighter. And in fact, Luke Dyer might just be in a position to pounce and overtake Will Hewitt here. Well, not quite yet. But it will be Arthur Owens with 400 to go. Look how close Luke Dyer is now to Will Hewitt. I think we can discount probably anybody behind there. The top 3. We're almost at the stage where it's a lead 1-2. Arthur Owens, Luke Dyer, Will Hewitt. Hewitt still just about in second place though. All of them looking to improve. Look at they're going to flip together. Second place. Hewitt 1.19. Yeah, don't know how tight that was with Luke Dyer because it wasn't showing on the screen, but I think Luke Dyer was either right alongside him or might actually have flipped ahead of him. We've got a lead 1-2 now. Let's see when they hit the red marker. Did seem that Luke Dyer got there first. Arthur Owens, 17:33 best time. There we go. We've seen 32nd PB. I think we might be seeing a couple of big chunks, maybe 2 or 3 big chunks taken out of PBs here. 300 to go. Oh, what a race. What a race. It could well be between the two lead swimmers ultimately. Arthur Owens, Luke Dyer. 0.59 now, separating 1 and 2. Mighty, mighty tight. And now Sam Wright. He's got Will Hewitt in his sights. If there's enough time, which there is just about for him to overtake him. Two lead swimmers are going to be very, very close together when they turn this time. Look. Well, what's the gap? 0.84. 0.84. It's nothing. So the amount of time left in, there will be another 200 meters after this. That's the man who's in pursuit. Luke Dyer of Leeds. Got a 17:30.96 entry time, which compares with a 17:33.26 for Arthur Owens. Oh, they're going to go over together. 4 100ths. That's all there is. What a scrap between the two lead swimmers. But don't discount Will Hewitt. He's still in the mix. He's still there. He hasn't given up yet. And I think that Luke Dyer's just taking to the front. Luke Dyer's now going to hit the front. In fact, if anything, I think Will Hewitt might be joined by Sam Wright. Sam Wright's moved up into third place now. Sam Wright's got a lot of propulsion, a lot of momentum going for him. 1 100ths. Owens takes it back. Well, it looked like Luke Dyer was going to overtake him, but this will be quite a scrap to the finish for both first and second and third and fourth. Luke Dyer and Arthur Owens will be nothing between them. Absolutely nothing between them when they turn. But I think Luke Dyer has just taken the better of that 50 meters. But it still will be very tight when they go over. Half a second no more between third and fourth. I don't think there's any gap at all. Whistles going on all over the place to alert the swimmers to their last 100 meters. Now watch the scrap on the far side. Will Hewitt and Sam Wright. They might start reeling Luke Dyer in, who in turn is trying to reel in Arthur Owens. They're going to be together as they flip. 8 100ths. Then there's only 8 tenths between third and fourth. And we'll keep an eye on the time, because what Arthur Owens wants to do and what Luke Dyer wants to do is post the best ever time. To do that, Arthur Owens has to come in under 17:33 and Luke Dyer under 17:30.96, and they're both going to do that quite comfortably. Quite comfortably. Big PBs for both of them. 17:23.25, just getting the better of his teammate Luke Dyer after having to trail Arthur Owens for a lot of that race. He finally got his measure over the last 50. Will Hewitt 17:25 is a 12-second PB, and Sam Wright 17:25.10 is a 9-second PB. So top four should all be delighted with the outcome there. All the fastest they've ever been in competition, and turned out to be a really cracking race, didn't it? Leeds 1-2. Middlesbrough in third place. Sedona Reid, the only woman in the field, finishing in 18:05.01. So we're on to heat number 5 of the 1500 metres. It says mix. Let's see how many females we've got. I think we might have 2 in this one. Both in the outside lanes. Georgia Robertson in 0 and Evangeline Stacey of City of Leeds in 9. The rest are men. Benjamin Beale N&D in 1, 14-year-old Jai Didi. 2 from N&D. City of Leeds have got Joseph Hall in 3. 4 is George Turner of Newcastle. Richmond Dale, Thomas Eardley in 5. Laura, sorry, in fact there's 3 women. I mentioned 2 of them. The other one's Laura Hodgson of Newcastle in 6. Oscar Gavell, Rotherham Metro in 7. And Ralph Robson of Tyndale is in lane number 8. So first 100 completed in 102.84. Jai Didi of N&D, 16-year-old. We got a fair old range in terms of the ages here. 14 for Benjamin Beale, up to 19 for Georgia Robertson for the women, and Laura Hodgson. And Ralph Robson is the oldest man from Tyndale in lane number 8. One more heat of 1500 to come after this. So new stages, Jai Didi with a 17:08.67 as his entry time. Well, what he would give a lot, I'm sure, to get under 17 minutes here. Well, certainly a tempo that might allow him to do that, though he is being joined by the always impressive Thomas Eardley in lane number 5. Always might see Thomas swim. So he very rarely lets anybody down. Doesn't let himself down, certainly. He takes over at 200. Again, he'll want to swim at his pace. Problem is when you've got a pace setter, they're not quite going at the pace you want them to. And sometimes you have to inject just a little bit more yourself. And Thomas Eardley, one of the great discoveries of the Richmond Dale team. Second fastest in this field in terms of entry time. He's the only 2 gone sub 17 prior to today. He's one of 2. 16:53.56 prior to today. And the lead. Keep your eye on the lead. See whether he's going to manage to see off Jai Didi. Again. Moving mainly to the right, to the left. I want to keep an eye on his main opponent, but at the moment he won't be able to see him because he's got far enough ahead with that last 50. He really has doubled that advantage. He was 7/10 ahead, now he's 1.54 ahead. Third place Joseph Hall, City of Leeds. Thomas Eardley, I say, is one of those swimmers who always impresses me whenever we cover these events. Always seems to do a good job. 17 years of age, covering him for a few years now. And swimmers that I see him on the card. Always excited, always interested to see what he can do. And today he's dominating the 1500 freestyle he's involved in. Boosting that lead incrementally by 2 to 3 tenths every 50. Jai Didi set the early pace, but he's making sure that he's doing what he wants to do and not going to dictate anything around him. So looking good from his point of view. Where is the challenge going to come from? Could come from Jai Didi. Just looking time-wise, where the challenge might come from. Should come from George Turner, Newcastle in 4, but he's a fair ways back at the moment. It's a long race, of course. Still a long way to go, but he's back in 5th. Quite a few of these swimmers were at the recent Olympic trials. Some of them a real block of training leading into that. And then a slightly easier month since London, but some have gone straight back into hard training. Some of these will be mid-taper. Eardley's lead, 3.75 now. This is really impressive. Just having a look at how every single 50 is just taking a massive chunk out of every single opponent here. And again, another swimmer you look at, it's quite languid, trailing legs, there's nothing happening, there's a bit of kicking going with others. Look, If you look on the far side, other swimmers are kicking. He's not. He's trailing his legs. Doesn't want to go to the engine yet. Engine can come later if he needs it. At the moment, other people are kicking. He doesn't need to. That always, to me, is a sign of a really good swimmer. Yeah, bring those legs in when you need them, if you need them. Last 200 perhaps. No, not this stage. Right, it's only a flutter kick for the most part from the others, but he's barely doing that himself. Just hoping the legs as ballast in effect. And this lead is now improving substantially. It's going to be 4 seconds, more than 4 seconds. I think nearer 5 now, isn't it? 5.68. He's taken a huge amount out of the rest of the field there. Yeah, very impressive. We keep saying we want to search for 1500 meters swimmers. He's 17, is Thomas. When David Davis came through, thinking about recent history, about good 1500 meters freestylers, but came through a little bit earlier than did Thomas, but I just think there's something about him, you know. We just get him down a little bit more. Start working him into the 15s. It's going to take, I think, a fair amount of his personal best here. See how much he can take out of 16.53 and then see where we can go from there. Meanwhile, quite a battle going on for second and third place with Joseph Hall and Jai Diddy. That lead, I reckon, get up to 7 seconds maybe. 6.50. I think it's going to be more every single turn. Whilst they're racing each other, also Lee is doing exactly what he needs to do to keep himself right in front of the field, and I will be amazed with 16 lengths to go if anybody gets close. I'll make that proclamation at this stage. I don't see anybody in this field getting anywhere near Thomas Erdley. All that Jai Diddy and Joseph Hall will care about is probably breaking 17 minutes for the first time, which Erdley has already done. So there'll be a big feather in their caps, but to catch the Mao's leading, I don't think that's going to be a possibility now. Just looking absolutely in total control of how he's swimming this race. We're going to get to the stage where the camera's not going to get all three in shot, because that is now, what, 12-meter lead maybe? So between 10 and 12. 8.53 turns in. Second swimmer comes in 9:01, lead 8 seconds. 8-second lead was 6.5. It's up in the 8s now. Again, keep saying this. As one of those swimmers, whenever I come to these meets, always enjoy watching. See, just seems to be able to be a championship swimmer. Some people come to championships, they freeze. Some people just can't replicate what they do the rest of the year round when it comes to this kind of environment, but you know, he seems to relish it. Gets in there, does the business. All credit to the Richmond Dale coaching team, who I think have done an amazing job with him. It was 8 seconds. 10 minutes virtually dead at 900. Was it 8 seconds? Now it is still about the same. Still about the same. Hasn't really changed much. But nobody in the field is showing any kind of inclination of getting close. That's the battle for second place, but now we're talking about nearly 15 meters lead between the man out in front, who has been out in front for a long, long time, Thomas Eardley. And that's that kind of mentality where he's not going to worry about the fact he hasn't got anybody to race. We tend to go. 500 meters, 2/3 gone. Almost a walk in the park for him. 7.11 actually has come down a little, that gap, just a bit. Not appreciable. I think it's going to cause him any real concern, I don't think. Yeah, again, can go to the legs when he wants to, if he wants to. There is a threat just being posed a little bit by Joseph Hall, up in 3. Lead is certainly less than 15 now. Not that it should concern him overly, I don't think. He's got plenty in reserve, plenty in control, but I'd say Joseph Hall, 17:03, hasn't been under 17 yet. Been under 17 minutes. And 6.46 now the advantage. Pretty much clear 1-2 though. Thomas Eardley, Richmond Dale, second place to Joseph Hall leads. Maybe get a bit tighter, just a bit. Probably down to about 11, 12 meters. Is the gap. Oh, it's really actually on the screen. It's been taken off, but yeah, I think he is catching him, but it's not massive amounts of indentations into this lead. Eardley will have 300 to go when he turns this time. Smallest lead for a while, 4.91. Just maybe some signs that maybe the legs might kick in a moment if he needs them. May not. Joseph Hall has been second place for a long time after seeing off the challenge of N&D's Jai Diddy. Has he got anything left in the tank to really launch an assault on Thomas Eardley? From this angle, from this length of the race remaining, I think it's unlikely. He's giving it a go. I'd say that lead is reducing. And there's now 200 to go. That lead is the shortest it's been for a long time. So you know what? Still could be race on here. Still could be. In fact, you know, it is race on. Most definitely is race on. Because here comes Joseph Hall. He's getting closer. I think I made the rather brave statement earlier on. I couldn't see anybody heading Thomas Eardley. I may have to revise that, because Joseph Hall is now getting within striking distance with just over 100 to go, 125 remaining. He's there or thereabouts now. Are we going to have a thrilling, captivating and exciting finish here? We might. We just might. Eardley turns. Hall turns. 0.26, that's all there is between them. And bit between the teeth for Joseph Hall, who's timed this to perfection, it seems. Does Thomas Eardley have any kind of response or reaction? 16-year-old from Leeds, never been sub 17 before. It's happening here. It's happening here. Joseph Hall is definitely going under 17 minutes. Has Thomas Eardley got a response in the last 25? I don't think he has. I think the lead swimmer has got his measure, has got his name, has got him out of first place, and he is going to go crashing through that 17-minute barrier in no uncertain terms. 16:44.71. Boy, that's an impressive swim. Really is. 16:44.71. Came not from nowhere, but came from 8 seconds back to go on and win that. And he won it, well, reasonably convincingly. Over 3 seconds between the two of them. 3.35 seconds. And remember, he didn't actually take over until that last 100 meters. Well, Thomas Eardley did his bet, and he did his best, and he's got a personal best as well by 5 seconds, but Joseph Hall, that's immense. 17:03 down to 16:44. Jai Diddy didn't quite get his personal best, but that was a race and a half. People say, oh, 1500 is quite boring, it's quite dull, isn't it? Well, there's an example of the 1500 not being dull at all. Really, really impressive. Right, we're off and running on heat number 6 of the 1500 meters. And whilst I would normally say mixed, this one is not. This one is all men, and these are they. Lane 0, Daniel Payton of N&D, 2 from Sheffield, Jack Collins in 1, Ethan Ellis-Sixsmith in 2, Joseph Moment of Kingston upon Hull in 3, Luke McGee, N&D in 4, Kurush Kodakar of City of Leeds in lane 5, 6 is Josh Denham, 7 is Aidan Turner, both of Newcastle, then Leeds, Ollie Wilson. So actually, no, I tell a lie, it's not all men at all. Ollie's crept in there in lane number 8. She is there. So there is one woman in the mix, and James Ross, City of Sheffield, in lane number 9. So let's see what Luke McGee, N&D can do. Fastest opening, 58.66. First sub 60 we've seen now. Luke has got a 15:39 time. He is one of those swimmers we're talking about. In terms of making that breakthrough, he's got to get down to the low 15s. If he wants to be competitive on any kind of world stage, 15 is the cut-off point. Anything in the high 14s. And it'd be good to see him just take that 15:39 down to, 15:30, 25, whatever. Start to work his way down towards being world class. He's, getting there with that time. 15:58 for Moment, 15:52 for Kurush Kodagar. Had a brilliant trials in London. Very good swims with Kurush back in London about a month ago. And he'll certainly push Luke McGee. So 2:01, 43. This has gone for around about 1:03 there. Already quite spread out. Luke McGee, 18 years of age, and so it's what we're looking for. We need, in 4 years' time, to have some 8 and 1500. We got Dan Jervis at the moment going to the Olympics, but that's about it in terms of distance swimming outside open water. He's the only one. Some of the open water swimmers are like Toby Robinson, for example, getting down below 15, but we need plenty more. It's been a strength over the years, likes of Graham Smith, David Davis, Dan Jervis we're talking about now. Ian Wilson going back in the day from the city of Leeds, of course. I think his British record was about 15:03 for a while. So we have had some very good distance swimmers. We just don't have as many at the moment as we'd like. 3:04.48 is another 1:03, so it's very metronomic. 1:03s from Luke McGee. Let's just keep an eye on likes of Aidan Turner, Daniel Payton, Jack Collins, 15 and 16-year-olds, see what they can do. They could drop massive amount of time here. But the more experienced Luke McGee from N&D team. To lead the moment is 6.97, so 7-second lead over Kurush Kodagar. In that second pack, which also includes Josh Denham, Aidan Turner, and Joseph Moment from Kingston Hull Hull, but our leader is quite a way gone by now. 4:07.70. Yeah, again, another 1:03. That leads in 7 seconds territory now. About 8-second territory, that's how much. He's actually taken a second and a half out of the field in 100 meters. Right, this is serious stuff from Luke McGee. Serious stuff. 1:03 for another 1100. Then maybe a burst at the end, who knows? His lead is now 16 meters. Very impressive. So probably around about 5:10, maybe 5:11 when he turns next time, but he's on that 1:03 pace. It'll be 5:10 high. 5:11 on the nose, just over 1:03 again. More importantly, the lead is now 9.92. We are getting into that territory where we will not see the lead. I guess much above 10 seconds, we don't see the lead. So I need to keep looking at the scoreboard to let you know. What's impressive also is Aidan Turner of Newcastle, because he is one of the younger swimmers, lane 7. And I'll tell you, a very good swim. As you can see, just the middle of your picture right there. It's the lead now. We even get it. 10.23, just got it before it disappeared. Now, from here on in, probably won't get the split between first and second. $6.14. Yes, 6.14. So those 1:03s keep coming. They have done all the way from 100 meters onwards after the 58.66 opening burst. Right, Luke McGee definitely got his head on in terms of getting something in the region of, well, I think he would love to get something around 15:30 here. Oh, 6:46 as it turns. That's what that's what I mean, it just goes off the screen, isn't it? It's now 11 seconds. It's now 11 seconds between 1 and 2. Look at the battle a bit further back between Josh Denham and Aidan Turner for second and third place in 6 and 7. Our leader, however, just turning at 7:18. So that's about the slowest one we've had from him for a while. It's near a 1:08. There's a danger of him being caught at this stage or anywhere near it, but it's, I think, a bit slower than the previous few hundreds. Not by much, any matter of tenths, but he's going to be heading for a 15:30. He needs to keep on that 1:03 trajectory. 7:50.86. Up to turning at 8:01.30, so it's 11 seconds between 1 and 2. This will be 800 meters. And 800, he is at 8:22. Well, I think I was being a little bit optimistic, to be honest, about that 15:30. Don't think it's going to quite be that. As he speeds up, 15:39 is his best. Probably in and around that. He can just up the ante a bit. Gap is still 11 seconds between Luke McGee, 18 years of age, from the N&D performance team. In the field, he is some 13 seconds quicker than Kurish Kodakar. Some 19 seconds quicker than Joseph Moment. Some 29 seconds quicker than Josh Denham. I think Aidan Turner's the one I'm going to be most interested in seeing how he finishes, because he's keeping up with the big boys by only having a 16:35 entry time, so we are looking for a big drop down in time here. Right, Luke, what you got? 9:27. Oh, slipped off to I think a 1:05 there. It's a 1:05 if my calculations are right. Josh Denham second place, Aidan Turner third, so I think we're going to see a PB from Luke today. Just lost a little bit of momentum from 1:03 down to a 1:05, to a 1:04.05. No danger. Oh, I said that in the last race, didn't I, between when Thomas Erdő was going so well. Joseph Paul probably couldn't catch him, but probably as confident, if not more confident, that Luke McGee is going to see this one out. But still a ways to go, still another 500 meters to go. So who knows? 10:32. Yeah, another 1:04.5, so not as quick as he went or was going, but the lead is still substantial. He needs to certainly concern himself about that. The race is as good as won. Pretty strung out, the rest of the field. Got Kurish's day, very strong showing at the London trials for the Olympics. Yeah, not quite having quite the day he would have liked. You know, on the other end, Luke McGee has just turned at 10:50 with a 10.28 advantage over the rest of the field. Just caught that before it disappeared off the screen. Further back in the field, James Ross, 20-year-old from Sheffield, just turning down below. Holly Wilson, City of Leeds, just going over and up in 4. Luke McGee turns with 400 to go. Yeah, it's going to be nearer 16 today, I'm afraid. Not going to be quite the mid-15s I'd hoped for from him, but you know, again, he's had some very tough racing recently, including London. So it's not surprising that it's a bit of a reaction less than a month later. Still way too good for the rest of this field, though. Still well over 10 seconds, I think, ahead of Josh Denham. Just over 10. The loneliness of a 1500 meters freestyler. Nowhere to hide, nowhere to go, nowhere to talk to. All over and done with in 16 minutes, but that could be quite a long time. McGee has 300 to go, so back to the back of this. They're not making any appreciable inroads into it. Still over 10 seconds between him and Josh Denham. How is Aidan Turner doing? Turner is just turning in third place, 13:03. Well, I think we can guarantee that Aidan's going to be knocking on the door, probably beating his personal best. How much by? We'll find out in due course. Luke McGee, 2:50 to go. Don't worry about Holly Wilson being 11 100s back, because she's not. $200 to go for Luke McGee. I think it's visibly to me like this is a bit of a strain towards the end. 13:46. We're probably looking at, well, yeah, it's still going to go sub 16. Still going to go sub 16. Maybe a 15:55 today. Could be a, yeah. I reckon about 15:55 now. Let's see. $50 to go. Hear that wonderful sound of the bell when he turns at this end. Not really having seen anybody in a competitive nature in this race for a considerable length of time, because his lead has been, or certainly in recent times, up around 10, 11 seconds. He'll be absolutely delighted to hear and see the sound and the vision of 2 lengths to go. Lead 14:51, and then second is Josh Denham, comes in for his last turn. So yeah, about 12 seconds out of the lead. So the lead has again increased. 51. So we're still looking at a sub 16 swim from Luke McGee. I think he'll be sub 16. Not quite what he would have wanted today, I'm sure. I think he would have wanted to go a little bit quicker than that, but he still burned the field off very early. He hasn't really ever had a race to speak of. Just in the 25 meters now. It's going to be under 16, but not massively inside 16. To finish off, last few strokes, 15:55, 11 for Luke McGee. Second place is going to go to Josh Denham, who will be on his personal best, but inside it, just 16:07.70. So an improvement for him. Actually in third place is Joseph Moment, I think. Yep, he comes in. 16:19.75. He has been quicker than that. He's been under 16 before. Aidan Turner, now this is the important one for me. Oh yes, 14 seconds PB, as good as. 16:35 down to 16:21. Those are the kinds of improvements we want to see from that age group, 15 years of age. 14 seconds better. Daniel Payton right on his PB. In fact, he's just got inside it by a third of a second. Jack Collins just outside of his. And of the youngsters, that's about it. But Daniel Payton inside his, and certainly a big drop down in time for Aidan Turner, Newcastle in 7th. Everybody in. Holly Wilson with a 17:12. And Kurish Kodakar, not his day today. Should be outside his best. I think the toll of April has started to take its toll in May for him in Sunderland. Right, we are done for the middle session here at the Sunderland Aquatic Centre. And the third session at 5 o'clock. We're about 50 minutes away from the start for the finals on the Swim England North East Region Open Youth Championship 2024, back at just before 5 for the concluding session. We'll see you later.